All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here on the CE show tonight. Tonight is a show. It is Friday night. That means tonight we are here to um, talk about your questions. You guys ask me questions all week long, and today it is the video. We are here for the second time in history. We are here to answer your questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who's number one? Who's number one? Who will get there? I want to thank everybody for answering the question. For asking me the questions. Everyone, good job. You guys did a lot better job. I like the activity. I saw a lot more. Um, let's see if we can get a number three. But first, let's do this one, and we'll see next week if we can get a number three serious. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. First question of the night is: are the Pelicans going the right way? Are they going the right way? Well, you got Anthony Davis, who today actually got hurt, got a concussion, and ended up losing to the Nuggets. And then you got DeMarcus Cousins. That's supposed to be your big two. And then I like what they did with Rajon Rondo. I really like that move. And this needs to be a playoff team. It really has got to be a playoff team. Because you look at this talent you got. You got Rajon Rondo, who to me it seems to perform anywhere he goes. Last year you saw him in Chicago. You saw how they were 2-0 up on the Celtics. And then once he broke his hand, it was over for Chicago, and the Celtics ended up coming back and winning the series. But this man, almost any other than the Mavericks, that was terrible. But other than that, he made it to Sacramento, But as far as the Celtics, Chicago, he's been really good. And then you obviously got Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. This team has got to go to the playoffs this year. They really have to. The honeymoon is over. The honeymoon was last year when you added DeMarcus Cousins in February. And okay, you guys didn't know how to play together. How do DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis play together? You really had no point guard. But Alvin Gentry has got to find a way to get this team to the playoffs this year. If you cannot get to the playoffs with Rajon Rondo, Anthony Davis, and DeMarcus Cousins, I'm sorry, but you ain't about shit. And now you could lose both Rajon Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins this season. So if you do not perform and go to the playoffs this year, once again you go from having those two to going back to Anthony Davis all by himself. And possibly, most likely, Alvin Gentry working at McDonald's. He will be fired. Alvin Gentry has got to find a way to get this team into the playoffs. There's no either that or clean house. And yes, I'm sure they don't want to clean house, but I'm sure they just would want to fire the coach and hope both Rajon Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins stay. But I would not be surprised if they would both leave and just leave Anthony Davis there by himself. So this is a 500 team right now. They're in 7th place in the West. They have got to find a way to get in the playoffs, at least get in the playoffs. And you know what? Maybe in the second round, because 2 years ago, or a few years ago, when Anthony Davis by himself, they went to the playoffs, and I believe they got swept by the Warriors. So you might even have to go to the second round to really convince people that you're about shit. Because if you go to that first round and get swept by the Warriors again, you're telling me you haven't improved at all, because that's what happened last time you were in the playoffs a few years ago with Anthony Davis alone. Now, if you go back there, you wasn't thinking you would get swept with Rajon Rondo, Anthony Davis, and DeMarcus Cousins. You really suck. You have not improved. And that would be obviously all on Alvin Gentry, the coach. So they're 7th in the West. They lost the Nuggets tonight. Anthony Davis left the game with a concussion, but they have got to find a way to get in the playoffs and even win the first round and get out of the first round to really convince people that this team has a chance. Not only the people, not only the fans, not only the executives in the Pelicans franchise, but you have got to convince guys like Rajon Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins, hey, we can do this in the future. So you not only do you have to convince, the front office, the executives, and not, you and the fans, you also have to convince guys like Rajon Rondo and DeMarcus Cousins, who can leave after the season if they're not convinced this is a playoff team or a championship team. But yeah, look, that to me is it. To me, I would like the Pelicans to make it all the way to the second round this year, but at least make it to the playoffs. At least make it to the playoffs. If they do not make it to the playoffs this year, for sure, I guarantee you, Alvin Gentry will be working at McDonald's next season. All right, next question. What is the next question for the TV show tonight? The next question is, are the Saints for real? Yes, the Saints are for real. They are 7-2. Yes, Carolina. The Atlanta will have something to say about that. But I really like what I am seeing from the Saints this year. You got a top 5 quarterback in Drew Brees. You know, you got a very good running game with Mark Ingram and what the hell, whatever the fuck that other guy's name is. I really like this team. Defense has improved a lot. Yes, I do. I will see. I do think the Saints are for real, and I think we will see the Saints in the playoffs this year for sure. That wasn't even asked for. Just for those of you who were wondering, that was not asked by the person who you think was answered. It's actually asked by somebody who's not even a Saints fan. All right, I'm not gonna say who answered who asked what, because for those of you we do have a lot of Saints fans on the Z show. That question was actually not asked by a Saints fans. Anyways, I'm kind of surprised me a little bit there. But anyways, yes, I do think the Saints are a Kamir, I believe that other guy's name is, the other running back with Mark Ingram. I do think the Saints are a playoff team. I really do. I think the 7-2 defense has improved. Drew Brees, top 5 quarterback. Sean Payton seems to really be back to calling the plays. It's all about the defense to me with this team. We've always known, Drew Brees. He's kind of like, those quarterbacks that can make anybody look like a household name when it comes to the wide receiver, So the question with the Saints was, could they get a defense, back to the Greg Williams day, Jonathan Wilma days, even Malcolm Jenkins day, can they go back to that type of version? And this year, they're starting to go back to that, and to me there was no question. Drew Brees, the top 5 quarterback, top 10. It's just a question: can you get him some help on the other side of the football to so he doesn't have to score fucking 50 points every time to try to win a game? But yes, the Saints are a playoff contender, and they are for real, 7-2. All right, next question is, are the Cowboys in trouble without Ezekiel Elliott? Yes, they are. They're also, the offensive line is also not 100%. The offensive line is also not 100%. I believe they will be missing their left tackle again this week. And I think this team, Dak Prescott is a good quarterback, but he is not somebody who you want to throw the ball for 30 to 50 times a game. You want to run the football with Ezekiel Elliott. We've seen it twice this year in Denver, week 2. Ezekiel Elliott got shot down. They had to put the ball in Dak Prescott's hands, and he fell flat on his face. Got the ass whooping up for like 10, 42-17. Last week, first game, Ezekiel Elliott did not play for the first time since he's been in the Cowboys uniform. And once again, the Falcons whooped their ass 27-7. And to me, they would have gotten shut down if it would have not been for that lucky interception in the first quarter on the 20-yard line. They would have gotten shut down to me 27-0. Yes, they are in trouble without Ezekiel Elliott because Prescott is not that one quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's not going to win you a game. He needs the help. He needs to have balance with the running game. He will not be successful if he has to throw the ball 30 to 50 times. Trust me, he's a good quarterback, but he's not going to win you a game. He needs help from the running game. So yes, they are in trouble without Ezekiel Elliott. Next question is, are the Knicks? Where are the Knicks going? I think the Knicks, they did a very good job this year of getting rid of both of Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson. Carmelo Anthony, to me, you look at Carmelo Anthony, he just, my father does not like Carmelo Anthony at all. He's happy that he's not on his team. You're looking at this here with the Thunder too. He just freezes everything. He just everywhere he just gets the ball and then drops back, and he's a ball. He will freeze your offense. I think that's affecting the Thunder this year because, and I know this is the next question, but I just think Carmelo Anthony. I just think with the Knicks too, he was freezing everything. The whole, you're trying to move the ball, find the open man, shoot, drive to the fucking rim, and Carmelo just gets the ball and am I gonna post up? Am I gonna shoot? And everybody's just being really like, hmm? And you're seeing it with the Thunder this year. Like the Thunder want to push the ball, they want to run with guys like Paul George and Westbrook. And this man he just freezes everything. And you're seeing it this year with the Thunder. How to me, the reason why they lost, I saw the game tonight, they lost to San Antonio. Carmelo Anthony freezes everything. He really does. I really think that they would be better off with just having Paul George and Westbrook because they could just push the ball and they like to play defense. Where Carmelo just gets the ball, freezes everything, doesn't know what he holds the ball for like 10 seconds, and then sometimes, why you shoot the ball and you miss it, like because you're not gonna make it every time you shoot it unless you're like Steph Curry. So I truly believe. I look at Carmelo Anthony. To me, he freezes everything, and to me, that is the reason why the Thunder are struggling this year. To me, that this team would win a lot more games if it would just be Paul George and Russell Westbrook running the show. And same thing. You're seeing it this year. Now you're moving the ball a lot more. You're playing faster. Porzingis is now the star. He's the future of that team, and you're just seeing it. The Knicks are winning now because Carmelo Anthony is no longer freezing everything. You're playing the way you want to play. And not only and then the whole thing with Phil Jackson, Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson never seem to like each other. And you have all that drama, all the distraction, between Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson. And then Phil Jackson falling asleep at scouts, going to go scout college players. And he literally, I made a show about that a few months ago, how in the summer, the Knicks franchise went to go see a college workout, a college practice to scout, and Phil Jackson fell asleep. This guy was not interested in being the vice president of the New York Knicks. He really wasn't. When James Dolan, the owner, he kept offering him the contract. He said no, until we got to the point where he offered him so much money that Phil Jackson said, okay, whatever, I'll do it. But he was never interested in being the vice president of the New York Knicks, and you can tell. The only good thing he did for the Knicks was draft Kristaps Porzingis. Other than that, he sucked ass as the Knicks vice president. And so I like where the Knicks are going. I like the future with Kristaps Porzingis. I am hearing LeBron James could go over there, and because people believe that would be a very good combination of Kristaps Porzingis and LeBron James. But then you need a point guard to run the show. But we'll see about that. But I mean, right now, obviously, they're a lot better with Porzingis. I don't know if they can make the playoffs or not. We'll see what happens. That is a very weak East, so maybe. But we'll see what happens. But I think they are in a better place with lazy ass Phil Jackson doesn't want to do anything as the vice president, and Carmelo Anthony who just freezes the whole offense. They are better off without those two. So yes, the Knicks are at least in a better place than they were last year with Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson. We'll see about playoffs, maybe because of the weak East, but we'll see. Final question is, who do you think is going to the Super Bowl? I say to me the East, to me it's pretty easy. You're going to have yourselves a Patriots Steelers AFC Championship game, and the winner of that would obviously go. But to me, it is no question that will be your your AFC Championship game. Patriots versus Steelers. I'm gonna say the Patriots. And then the NFC. That's really hard. That's the one that's the Packers are the question this year. Seattle, how are they gonna play without Richard Sherman? I mean, you really got to look at teams like the Eagles and the Saints and even the Los Angeles Rams. But at the same time, can you trust these young guys to go to the Super Bowl? I mean, the NFC is very hard to figure it out, especially without Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, because you most likely are going to have to eliminate the Packers at this moment from the conversation. The Cowboys are falling flat on their face. You have to eliminate them from the conversation at this moment. And I mean, the Vikings can. I mean, look, think about this, guys. This is the conversation we are having. Can Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, or Case Keenum go to the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship game? I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's not sad. It's just ridiculous that who would have thought that would be the talk? Can Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, or Case Keenum take them to the Super Bowl? I mean, those are probably along with the Saints, but I mean the same type of Super Bowl quarterback in Drew Brees. Now I do think obviously like the Eagles and the Seahawks have a better defense than the Saints. I guess Eagles versus Saints and the NFC Championship game, I guess. And then, I mean, you would have to go with Drew Brees and the experience, but at the same time, the Eagles have a pretty good defense. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, at this point, I would have to say probably that would be the matchup. You know, Jared Goff, can he make it all the way to the Super Bowl in year 2? I don't know. Can Case Keenum and can the defense carry them to the so hard for the A. I'm gonna say Patriots, Eagles, whatever. I don't know, to be honest. And I am not being a homer. I swear to God. I just don't know who to pick. And the reason I'm saying Saints, Eagles, and then I'm picking the Eagles to win is because I think the Eagles are more of a complete team. I think the Saints are a good team, but I look at the offenses, and yes, Drew Brees is a champion, and Carson Wentz only in his second year, but they're more even match. Where I think the Eagles' defense is much better than the Saints' defense, so that's where I picked the Eagles to win because I think offensively they're pretty well matched up, but defensively I think the Eagles are better than the Saints. So that's what I was. So right now I'm gonna say Patriots, Eagles, Super Bowl. But it's very hard to choose from the West. And then the Seahawks, I mean, they're in the conversation as well. But, I mean, I just do not know how they will play without Richard Sherman. I just need to see that. And they have lost some games to teams like Tennessee and Washington, who you say, really? So, I mean, you don't know if you can trust the Saints either. I mean, the Seahawks either. But, I mean, obviously, I would have to say Los Angeles Rams and Minnesota Vikings. I might leave them out of there for now, and I'll probably put it between the Eagles, Saints, and Seahawks. That's what I would probably leave it right now. One of those three, but I don't know. We'll see. It's very hard. Anyways, for the West, the AFC is pretty easy. It's only between the Patriots and the Steelers. And then just a question who would win. I would think the Patriots, but I mean, we'll see. But I mean, that's a much easier to pick the AFC. But yeah, that's all I have to say for the show. And thank you for watching the show tonight. Make sure put in your questions. I think we have one question that made it for next week already. I'm sorry it did not make it it did not make the cut. I apologize. Please do not cry. You don't have to eat sneakers. You don't have to eat ice cream for a whole week. Lock yourself in a room and watch fucking Netflix. See, you did not pick my question. I'm a loser. I'm a loser. No, please do not do that. Your question for sure will be number 1 next week. I promise you. What else can I say? Start putting in the questions for next week in the comment section. Start putting in the questions for next week. Because do you want to be a star next week, or do you want to get let down next week again? So the faster you put them, the better chance you have a chance to having your question answered next week. Right, like I said, right now we have one question on hold, and that will be answered next week. So to that one person, your question will be answered next week. But I think that's all we have to say for tonight. And yes, Tomorrow, college football. We're set up probably. Oh, I'll talk about it later. Anyways, until next time, I will see you later. Oh, come on. Let's hope these minutes were not too long. Oh, let's see here. 20 minutes? Mother chicken and a waffle head. It is too much. I cannot take this. Lately, my videos are so long. Like, WTF is going on? I'm not crying, ladies and gentlemen. You know I'm a fat ass who doesn't cry. I'm 255 pounds, 275 pounds. I'm not gonna cry like a little bit. It's just unacceptable. I really want to get my hand camera, my YouTube professional camera, because I cannot believe this shit. 20 minutes. Who the fuck is gonna watch this shit? Nobody. Comment down below if you watch the full show. Comment down below. And what the fuck is happening? Why can I exit? Why can I exit? Are you kidding me right now? Are we stuck here on the CEO show with our thumb up our ass? Why can we exit the show? We are having some technical difficulties on the CEO show tonight. Hello? Why can't we stop the show? Make it stop. Make it stop. People are gonna fucking think I have diarrhea in the fucking mouth. How can we make this show stop? Why won't this shit fucking stop? WTF is going on? Stop, motherfucker. Why can't I press the fucking pause button? Ladies and gentlemen, I promise the show should be over now, but I cannot exit out of here. WTF is going on? Why can I exit? Ladies and gentlemen, I know you hate me. Sorry.